Hi friends, it's Miss Eliza, Children's Librarian at the Waukee Public Library, and for this week's color-themed Maker Monday for elementary kids, we are going to be making color wheel tops. So these are going to be little tops that have two primary colors on them, and we're going to experiment with them to see what happens when they spin. So for this experiment, you're going to need a paper plate or some kind of thinner cardboard like a cereal box or a cracker box that you can cut. So you'll also need some scissors. I've got a pencil, and a cup makes a really good stencil to draw your circle. You're also going to need some toothpicks, one for each top. And then paint or markers or whatever you want to use. Just make sure that you've got those primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. So to get started, the first thing that you're going to want to do is to draw your circles out, and you can do them any size you want. You might want to experiment with a couple different sizes and see what kind of results you get. But I found that using the bottom of like a cup or a glass was a pretty good size. So you'll just start by kind of tracing that out, and you'll want to do a couple that are the same size. So if we've got red and yellow and blue that we're trying to mix, how many different combinations of those can we make if we're using two for each top? Yeah, there's 3 different combinations. We're gonna need one that's red and yellow, one that's red and blue, and then one that's yellow and blue. So you're gonna wanna make 3 tops. And again, you can pick the sizes, do whatever you like. Trace them out, and then you'll wanna cut these out. And then once you have the circle, you're gonna wanna divide it into quadrants. So that's 4. So the easiest way I found to do this, and it doesn't have to be super exact, is just to gently fold over your circle in half till it makes a little bit of a line. And then you can just draw straight down, rotate it, and do the same thing in half the other way. Now you wanna make sure you don't fold it too hard, because then the top isn't gonna spin very well. But also, once you've done one of them, you'll kind of get an idea of where those lines should go, and they don't have to be super precise. You're just gonna wanna do in half one way, and then in half the other way. Then you'll have your 4 quadrants, and you can paint or use markers or crayons or whatever you have. Paint is probably the most saturated, so you'll get the brightest color, but you can do whatever you've got on hand. And then you'll want to do the same colors going diagonal to each other. So where the 2 pointy ends meet, those are gonna be the 2 facing each other that will be the same color. So you can make all 3 different combinations on your circles. Then, once those are nice and dry and ready to go, you're gonna find that place where they meet in the middle, all 4 quadrants, and you're going to carefully poke a toothpick right through that center part. Now, you can make this hole with something else like the end of a paper clip to kind of get the hole going, but it's really important for the top to spin that the hole is nice and tight. So you don't want to use like a hole punch or cut a hole with scissors. You need it to be a really small hole that just barely fits the toothpick. So you're gonna just gently push it in. Oh, there it goes. Slide it down a little ways, and then we're going to have our top. Now, what do you think is going to happen when we spin our tops? We know it's gonna spin, it's gonna rotate depending on how fast we spin it and depending on how pointy the end of our toothpick is. But other than spinning, what do you think is gonna happen to the colors that we see? Do you have a guess? Well, if you look carefully, and it's kind of hard to show you on camera, but if you look carefully, you're going to see as it spins quickly that the colors start to blend together, right? And it's not that the colors themselves are moving. Obviously, I painted them on there. They're staying in one spot. But what do you see as they're spinning? What color do you see happening? Yeah, so they start to kind of blend in. And what color do we get when we run these red and blue pieces? That turns into purple. So again, it's kind of hard to show you on camera, but if you can get your top spinning really fast, then you should be able to see those red and blues kind of meld into purple. And that's because our eyes can't process the colors quickly enough. So our eye sees them spinning and just processes it as one color when it's going really fast. So it's kind of an interesting optical illusion that happens using mixing colors. So you can see which colors happen with each of your tops. This one's gonna have a different result, and depending on how fast or slow it goes, you might get longer or shorter versions of that blended color. Experiment, see what you can find, and have fun playing with your tops. Thanks.